Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are so.
Tonight from Citi Field is the first of a pivotal three-game series against the Mets. Alex Wood aims to continue his outstanding work on the road, while the Braves offense digs in against the always entertaining and ageless Bartolo Colon. Friday night Braves baseball from the Big Apple. Game 1 between the Braves and Mets is next. It's great to be back in the Big Apple, and let's hope the Braves have better luck in New York this time around against the Mets. Earlier this season, New York swept us in a three-game series, but tonight there's a lot more on the line. First place in the East could be on the line with a successful series for the Braves, who open up a three-game set tonight. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome to the ballpark. Always fun to check out the standings when you're close to the division lead. That's exactly where the Braves find themselves, just 2.5 games behind New York in a very tight National League Eastern race. Good series for Atlanta could mean good things going to Boston.
Absolutely, and the Mets got a walk-off win yesterday against the Giants. The Braves suffered that crummy extra inning loss to the Padres yesterday. That's why the standings look as they do, because Washington got beat again. Washington's giving everybody in the division an opportunity to make their case to win the division. Everybody better do that quickly because Washington's getting healthy.
But who better to get a road trip off to a good start than the man that's been the road warrior for the Braves, left-hander Alex Wood.
Alex Wood has been on a real tear. He had won 3 straight decisions prior to his last start against the Pirates when he was ejected in the 5th inning, you might remember. But the 3 runs he gave up there were all in 1 inning. You're seeing part of those 3 starts that he made on the last road trip where he was outstanding out west. And for Alex Wood pitching against the Mets, well, he's going to be matched up with a guy faced earlier this season, Bartolo Colon. On the road, he has been the proverbial road warrior. 2-0, a 2.15 ERA. He loves pitching away from Turner Field.
Bartolo Colon is 42. That might be his waistline, but you wouldn't know it when you look at his one-loss record. He's incredible.
He'd take 42 for a waistline right now if you offered it to him. He's already pitched twice against the Braves this year, and he's pitched magnificently. 13 total innings. He has not walked a batter. Almost all fastballs for the Braves. If you can hit a fastball tonight, this is your night. You can get some hits against this guy, but his numbers against the Braves say a different story, a 248 career mark against them.
Let's see if Atlanta can get a big lead and maybe take the bullpen out of the equation. That would be nice. The June boom for the Bats continued in Atlanta. Let's hope it continues on the road trip tonight. We'll talk about Atlanta's resurgent offense when we come right back.
was presented by AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
With a break. Welcome back to Citi Field, where the Braves are hoping tonight is the beginning of payback weekend against the now first place New York Metropolitans. Of course, that was then and this is now. Hello, everyone. I'm Andre Aldridge, and the big difference between then and now has been a change offensively, especially from May until June. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at our tools from the dugout. Atlanta's team batting average from May to June is the best in all of baseball. A 56-point jump from 245 to 301. You see the difference of 56 points. And as I learned from Nick Markakis, it's a mindset as much as it is execution.
Well, when you cut down strikeouts and you put the ball in play, good things happen. If you're constantly walking back to the dugout with a bat in your hand, you're not giving yourself a chance or the team a chance. You got to go up there with good approach, good at bats, and put the ball in play, hit the ball hard, whether it's at somebody or in the gap. You got to give yourself a chance and your team a chance. And like I said, striking out 200 times a year is not healthy for a ball club.
So it's a chance for the Bravos to end the 4-game losing streak against this New York ball club. First pitch is right around the corner. We haven't lost 5 straight to them in over 25 years. Can't let that happen tonight.
The New York Mets here at Citi Field. Good crowd gathering here on Friday night. Why not? The Mets are in first place. The Braves are 2.5 back and hopeful of gaining ground in Game 1 here in New York tonight. A look at the Atlanta batting order presented by Academy Sports. Jace Peterson, Cameron Maybin, and Freddie Freeman, the top 3. Nick Markakis, Juan Uribe, A.J. Przinsky hit 6th. Johnny Gomes hit a home run against Bartolo Colon back in Atlanta. He's in left field with Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. Alex Wood pitches and bats tonight. And there he is, Bartolo Colon, 8-4 this year for New York.
All 285 pounds of him, 5'11", 285. He just turned 42 out of the Dominican Republic in his 17th year. He's a 212-game winner in his career. This is what I wanted you to see about his work so far this year. Yes, 8-4, but take a look. 75 and 2/3 innings. He's walked 6 guys. 6 against 61 strikeouts. None against Atlanta. 13 innings pitched against Atlanta. No walks so far this year, and he's beaten them twice already.
The defense behind Bartolo Colon looks very different than what we saw earlier in the season. No David Wright, no Daniel Murphy. Both of those men are hurt. And as Joe mentioned in the pregame show, no Lucas Duda tonight. He's been Their big power hitter. Instead, it's Michael Kadire at first, Dilson Herrera at second, Wilmer Flores the shortstop, Eric Campbell at third base, Anthony Recker is behind the plate, Mayberry, Juan Lagares in center, and of course Curtis Granderson is in right. So a much different look for the New York Mets. They have been injury riddled all year long. Pitching, position players, bench players, yet Terry Collins has somehow duct taped this team together, and they're in first place.
And they've lost 6 of their last 9 with a combined ERA of 5.50 for their staff. That's actually their starting staff, beg your pardon. So their starters have been scuffling a little bit.
So we're ready to go on an 82-degree night. And Bartolo Colon will face Jace Peterson to get things started. And off we go. Pitch high, ball 1. Peterson at 275 with a homer. He's knocked in 23. And he hits one a mile high toward third and in foul ground. There's a lot of it in this ballpark. It's a great place for a pitcher to work. And Campbell puts it away for out number 1.
Jace looking to have a good series because his numbers against the Mets coming in not good. 1 for 14 with 5 strikeouts. He was hoping to get off to a better start.
So he pops out to start the game, and Cameron Maybin bats. Maybin at 298, 5 homers, and he's knocked in 29 men. And the first pitch from Colon is a called strike, says Lance Barksdale, the home plate ump.
Fastball, fastball, fastball from Bartolo. 86% on the year. That's the highest percentage in baseball. He will mix in a slider just to keep you mindful of it.
And to me, Joe, that tells you all you need to know about how great a pitcher Bartolo Colon is. The hitter knows what's coming, yet he's beaten an offense 212 times in his career.
Yep. 2 seamers, 4 seamers. He's got a good Greg Maddux backup on that 2-seamer.
Play foul. He's still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He went through a rough patch in late April, early May, and then got squared away. May 25th, he beat the Phillies. His next start, he beat Miami, and in his last start against Arizona, he got beat 2-1, but he went 7 innings and only gave up 2 runs.
1-2 count, and Maybin rolled it foul. Yeah, those 2 runs were a home run by Wellington Castillo, who Arizona had just acquired. So that's a tough loss for Bartolo Colon. Base is empty for Cameron. 1 out, just underway in New York. Pitch. That continues. Brave center fielder who has had an extended period of good luck at the plate. Maybe this is the best run Cameron Maybin's ever had in the big leagues.
Last 10 games, you see that good fortune. He has hits in 11 of his last 14.
And since May 1st, Cameron Maybin's hitting .336 with 24 RBIs. Padres has turned out to be a boon. Bravos, 2 balls, 2 strikes. To short. Flores fields. And the throw to first in time. There's out number 2. You got to keep an eye on Wilmer Flores at short. He's an offensive shortstop. And at times his defense has been offensive. He's committed 10 errors.
Well, we saw some of that early in the year with his throwing. He was tentative about firing it across the diamond.
Colon has the first 2 outs, and now Met killer Freddie Freeman stands in. He too hoping for better luck against the Mets. They've kept him in check. Freddie enters tonight's ball game with only 3 hits and 23 at bats against New York's pitching staff. It's very surprising. This one's hit toward first when you look at Freeman's career numbers, which we'll show you the next time he comes up. Bartolo Colon works a perfect 1-2-3 first. Alex Wood to work in New York after the break. Top of the first. Here come the Mets at 32-29 and an impressive 22-10 mark on their home field. Curtis Granderson leads off their Academy Sports batting order. Juan Lagares in center, Michael Cuddyer at first, Wilmer Flores at shortstop, and then, as Joe mentioned, a whole lot of question marks offensively after the number 4 spot for this New York ball club. No question about how well Alex Wood is pitching of late, especially away from Turner Field.
He's been awesome. Well, he's undefeated away from Turner Field with a great ERA, good opponent's average against. He'll try to make it 5-0 tonight. 24 years old, 6'4", 215. Looking for his 5th win.
And be careful with Curtis Granderson. He's got plenty of home run pop leading off the game. Swinging away, fouled away.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Well, first and foremost, 4 guys in the lineup tonight that are at 200 or less. Don't let up on them. And flip-flop goes to the fact that he's never beaten the Mets. He's 0-2 lifetime against them, and then he got beat. Well, he actually got a no decision when he was matched up with Bartolo Colon the last time they hooked up. So tonight, flip-flop all that, put a W in your ledger.
And pick up a game in the standings. Anderson takes outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Curtis at 242. He's hit 8 homers. He's knocked in 20 men. He's 1 for 4 against Wood with 1 home run. And Alex tied him up over the inner half. A.J. Pierzynski tried to throw the ball around the horn, and he threw it right through the hole between the shortstop and Uribe at third base, and he just turned around and reached for a new baseball.
Well, which also shows and proves to you that if anybody ever tries to steal shortstop, he's one of the best in the business. Grenade.
That's great. So 1 out for Juan Lagares. He's a 270 hitter. And fouled away. Check this out. This is great.
Nothing like firing it around the horn.
Lagares, a terrific player, takes a strike, and Wood ahead of him. 0-2. He's made some circus catches against the Braves in the head-to-head action this year. And he's swinging a hot bat for the Mets when they need all the offensive help they can find. This is a Mets team that's been bothered by injuries in spring training.
Castuda just getting a night off because he's been scuffling offensively, and Terry Collins decided to give him a rest against the left-handed pitcher.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Lagares swings and misses, and a perfect throw from AJ. Attaboy. 2 up, 2 down.
Back foot breaking ball in the Butte. Good start for Alex. Got Granderson with a fastball. Got Lagares with the slider.
Last night's hitting hero for the Mets is the man in the box now. Michael Kadire had a walk-off hit that beat the Giants. Michael at 270. He's knocked in 26. This ball popped up right side. Freeman takes a peek, and he is going to have room, and Kadire pops out. Alex Wood off to an excellent start. A couple of strikeouts in his first inning of work, and we move to inning number 2. Wood off to a perfect start. AJ Pierzynski behind the plate. Well, let's just say that his teammates won't let him forget about that first throw.
It just happens, you know. Porter really giving it to him.
That's great. Braves team's a close-knit bunch. Pierzynski would be the first to laugh at his own misfortune. That was a light moment. Now Markakis goes to work. He'll be followed by Juan Uribe and Mr. Pierzynski here in inning number 2. Nick's average at 305, 17 RBIs. He's been packing his hits in multi-hit fashion. 5 multi-hit games in the last 10 he's played. Nick's a throwback player in this regard. You look at his line, he's had 223 at-bats in 59 games. 34 walks, 33 strikeouts. Don't see that ratio too often among big league hitters these days. And this ball's driven toward left. Mayberry has room. He's got it for the first out.
Yeah, and I'll take, if you're going to pick one or the other, I'll pick walks. I bet he's got more walks than strikeouts when it's all over.
Bones retired the first 4, and Juan Uribe is the batter. Juan at 248. He's hit 3 homers and he's knocked in 13. It's fortunate in one way that the Braves got Juan Uribe from the Dodgers when they did. Rumor has it that the Mets were on his trail as well. They are concerned about David Wright, He was on the disabled list with what's been called spinal stenosis. There's no timetable for his return. David Wright's played just 8 games for the Mets this year. And they are searching far and wide to find a suitable replacement for their team captain, David Wright.
Yeah, apparently the doctors have said, yeah, he could play this at some point this season. That's not very encouraging.
No. Fly ball to right. That'll be caught by Granderson. Uribe reached on an 0-2 pitch. And that's the second out. And the difficulty for the Mets squad, obviously, is this. They're in a pennant race. Everyone thought they'd be much improved this year. They are. Nationals aren't playing very well. And at the moment, it's a 3-team race in the East, and the Mets need offensive help. They got to get healthy. Talking to Milwaukee about Aramis Ramirez, one of many names they're apparently discussing. AJ fouls one away. The Mets do have something every team wants, and that's a surplus of starting pitching. Right now they've got 6 men for 5 spots.
Yeah, we were supposed to see Syndergaard here on Sunday, but that's changed to Dylan G now. AJ's had some luck. One of the few guys this year against Cologne for Atlanta. He's 3 for 6 against him.
And he's got 6 hits against the Mets this year. Remember, AJ started the year with hits in 13 consecutive games. And that ball's rifled towards center. Lagares on the run. He's going to get there. Boy, he's graceful in center. Covered a lot of ground there on a hard hit ball, and the Braves are out of luck in the second. This evening, we flash back to July 23rd, 1988. The Braves and Mets at Old Shea Stadium, and that was the Major League debut of John Smoltz and his first big league strikeout against Mets great Darryl Strawberry.
Now, a guy that had over 3,000 strikeouts in his career, did that happen in the first inning?
It did not.
Second?
Nope.
Keep going. Third?
Nope.
7th inning, John Smoltz. It took you 7 innings to get your first strikeout. I thought you told me you broke in with a bang. Well, I guess he did. He won the game. 4 hits, 1 run. Okay.
The first of 3,084 career strikeouts.
He was probably working on his knuckleball.
Probably. Apparently so. He hit the first guy he faced.
Was that Dykstra?
Probably, yeah. I love looking at those flashbacks. Look how young and energetic
and thin.
Yeah,
we all were.
It's great work by our crew as we remember John Smoltz breaking in against the men of Gotham. Here's Wilmer Flores All of Flores' defensive issues, there's very little wrong with his bat. He's hit 9 home runs for New York. And he's knocked in 12 runs in the last 16 games. High fly ball deep left. Gomes going back onto the warning track up against the fence. Wilmer Flores has hit a long home run.
We've talked about this guy a lot in the 2 series between these 2 clubs because of his stance. Very upright, very calm, and the ball just jumps off his bat. Hardly any stride. And that's his 10th homer. Leads the team now.
And I think he just tied Johnny Peralta for the big league lead among shortstops and homers. And the Mets have struck first. It's 1-0.
Just the 3rd home run total allowed by Alex Wood this year.
And now John Mayberry is the batter. 2 balls, no strikes.
1 to Kadire on this team, and now 1 to Flores.
53 homers now for the New York club. And Wood misfired off the plate, ball 3. Caught a corner. Everybody in baseball talks about the Mets' need for a shortstop. Could Flores play third base? Already got 10 homers. He's got third baseman's power, doesn't he?
Probably so. Yeah.
Mayberry pops one down the right field line. Long run. Markakis still going and won't have a play. It's into and then out of the stands.
They've got a couple of guys in their lineup tonight that have really struggled against lefties. Curtis Granderson's now 5 for 36 against left-handed pitching, and John Mayberry Jr., oddly enough, 6 for 35.
Which makes you appreciate, from a Braves perspective, that those guys are playing and Lucas Duda isn't. He's hitting .345 against lefties. But New York has scored first. And a walk to Mayberry after the leadoff home run. '20th walk for Alex Wood in 68 innings.
Only one, and I'm sorry, Chip, only 1 in his last 2 starts coming into this one.
That'll bring up Dilson Herrera. Out of Cartagena, Colombia. Came over from the Pirates for Vic Black. 1 ball, no strikes. Julio Teheran's also from Cartagena, Colombia. That's a big city, but I wonder if these 2 guys played ball together as kids.
So they had to have known each other, don't you think?
Very good chance. Julio's about 3 years older than Dilson Herrera, who's 21 years old. First Colombian to play for the Mets. Play foul, 2 balls and a strike.
He just came off the disabled list. He had a broken bone in the tip of his finger.
He's got the start for the Mets at second. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good change up.
To right and playable for Markakis near the line, and Nick has it. Herrera flies out. Mayberry back at first. One man down. Here's Eric Campbell. With David Wright out, Eric Campbell and Daniel Murphy have spent a lot of time for New York at third base. We've seen Campbell quite a bit, but what the Mets haven't seen is much offensive production.
And here's one of those guys that's 200 or less. One for his last 11.
Ground ball would be nice off the bat of Eric Campbell. It's fouled away. He has hit into 6 double plays. In fact, the Mets have hit into a lot of them. They've wrapped into 60 twin killings in the first 61 games.
Well, for a team that's been struggling to score, you get a run on some instant offense from Flores. It sure goes a long way to help everybody else in the lineup relax a little bit. Mets don't run much. They've got their 11th in the league in stolen bases, and because they don't have many attempts, they don't have many caught stealings. They're leading the league in the fewest caught stealings. Mayberry 1 for 1.
That's a big man standing at first base with the lead, John Mayberry. He is all legs. He just looks fast. He doesn't run a lot. Two quick strikes for Campbell. For the first. The screen out of play. We'll do it again.
Alex has shown a good changeup and a good back foot slider into the right-handers. I have to go back and look. I think Flores hit a fastball. I'm not 100% on that. Might have been a changeup.
Campbell fouled that off his foot. His battle continues here in the New York third. A homer, a walk, and a flyout for the first 3 Mets batters. 1-0 Mets. Ripped to left, but Gomes will measure that one up. And Mayberry's back at first with 2 outs. And that'll bring up Anthony Recker. There was some good news for the New York Ball Club as far as the injuries are concerned. Travis d'Arnaud is back. d'Arnaud was hit by a pitch and fractured his wrist or his hand. He's been back for a couple of games. Assume he'll be in the lineup tomorrow afternoon, I should say, for game 2. But tonight it's Anthony Recker, who's hit a couple of home runs. And it's accounted for 2 of his 3 RBIs.
Most of those homers were in one game.
Into the third row and out of play. Strike 1 for Recker.
And he's had virtually no luck here in his home ballpark. He is 1 for 18 at Citi Field this year.
One of 3 catchers we've seen play for the Mets. d'Arnaud, Recker, and Kevin Plawecki, a youngster who I believe made his debut against Atlanta.
Right.
d'Arnaud got hurt. No balls and a strike. Hit to short. Simmons has it. The flip to second is in time, and that'll retire the side. Wilmer Flores has hit his 10th home run, and the Mets have scored first. And as we head to the third inning, it's time for our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Over the last 5 years, Bartolo Colon has a 4.34 strikeout to walk ratio. That's the third best among active National League right-handed pitchers. Who has the best strikeout to walk ratio in the National League over the last 5 years?
See, 5 years, right-handed pitcher, National League, 4.34
or better.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't bring my abacus with me to try to decipher the trivia question.
It has to be a Pisces, Virgo, or Sagittarian too. That's
okay. See, might as well be. Not as much chance as I've got.
You know what? We started bragging about our hot streak, and we pay the price.
Yeah, that's what we get.
Yeah, let's try to put our heads together and come up with a logical answer that will inevitably be wrong. But give it a shot. Here's Johnny Gomes leading off the third, and he gets hit. He didn't want to rub it, but he's going to shake it out and shake off the elbow guard.
That hurt. I think might have gotten the elbow, the ulnar nerve, because his arm's kind of dead. Let's see, he's got that guard on, but it missed the guard. You know, Johnny hit a home run off of him last time he saw him. And he's 8 for 24 with 3 homers against him in his career.
And that's the first batter Bartolo Colon has hit this year.
Interesting. And again, he's only walked 6 guys. Pretty good control.
So Gomes at first for Andrelton Simmons. Dyer dropped the pickoff throw at first. Hey, we understand it's raining in Pittsburgh. Our pals Tom McCarthy and the Phillies broadcast crew are watching our game on the big board tonight.
They really need the rain over in Pittsburgh.
Pitch to Simmons is taken for a strike. Tom McCarthy and Matt Stairs. My TV voices of the Phillies. Probably killing the spread as they waited out in Pittsburgh. No balls and a strike. And a shot down the right field line is going to bounce into the stands. It's 0-2 to the Braves shortstop.
Bartolo Colon is so fun to watch. You know, I know he's beaten the Braves twice. He has a 6-2 record against Atlanta in his career, but I thoroughly enjoy watching the guy work. Despite his stature, and it is largesse, the guy is a good fielder. He has a good pickoff move. He's got quick feet. Don't underestimate his athletic ability.
No balls, 2 strikes. And out of play. The point we made yesterday about Dusty Rhodes, may he rest in peace, I think applies to Bartolo Colon. He's one of those guys I was talking about.
Yeah.
You watch him pitch, you watch him play. I mean, this guy seems to have a lot of fun doing what he does.
Right. And as we showed you, has won 8 games this year, throwing 86% fastballs.
In the air towards center, Lagares strips back a step or 2, and he'll have plenty of room. He's got it. Gomes at first, 1 out for Alex Wood. One of the best shots ever was back in Atlanta last year when Bartolo Colon had a big game, and he came in the dugout, was putting on his warm-up jacket, and he grabbed the spare tire, just gave it a little happy jiggle.
Yeah, it was a jelly roll.
Yeah. But his teammates love him. I mean, what's not to love? The guy's won 8 games, as you said.
Started off 4-0.
Alex will show bunt. And he took a strike.
If you're going to bunt against Colon with 1 out, you're pretty much going to get a fastball. He's going to take the out.
Three sacrifices so far for Alex. He has struck out 13 times. And he got that one down. And it's perfect. Only one play. It's to first. Herrera covers the bag. Gomes at second for the top of the order, and Jace Peterson.
Good work by Alex. His 4th sack of the year.
Peterson entered the game tonight with a 5-game hitting streak. Braves have won 14 of 25 games since Freddie Gonzalez put him in the #1 spot on the lineup card.
This guy's a different hitter than the one I talked about earlier that was 1 for 14 this year in the early going against the Mets with a bunch of strikeouts. He's had a .378 on base percentage his last 40 games.
You talked about it at the time when he was struggling about how he had to cover up the inside corner.
Yeah.
Has he done that?
Yeah, he has. He has. The only time he gets in a rut is when he tries to roll over and pull pitches on the outer third instead of taking them the other way.
That's taken high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is an area where the Braves have been very good this year, and Peterson in particular. 8 RBIs with 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Gomes represents the tying run. He was hit by a pitch to start the inning. One ball, 1 strike. When Bartolo Colon was a youngster, he wasn't throwing 91. He was throwing 97 and 98. Father Time's taken a few miles away from his fastball. But he knows what to do with what he's got. And that went in at 89. Caught a corner.
See, I don't get that. How can you be looking for something else? And I realize that was a 2-seamer that moved back over the middle of the plate. But how can you be looking for anything else? You cannot give up on that pitch.
His 32nd pitch of the game will come with a 1-2 count. Tried to back that one over the inside corner. Missed badly. 2-2. Protecting the plate there to stay alive. And we'll do it again.
61 strikeouts this year against 6 walks. And now 1 hit batter.
Strike 3. There's the inside corner. It backed up. Colon got the call, and the Braves are out of luck in the 3rd inning. Johnny Gomes, hit by a pitch, was left stranded at second. Look at the pitch selection and movement for Bartolo Colon. He got the call, and he gets the game to the bottom of the 3rd. To see Bartolo Colon coming to the plate.
No question about it. He has a good time. There's that shot you were talking about in the Turner Field dugout. Swing hard in case you hit it. Hey, he's been swinging the bat pretty well this year.
He has. He's got a 3-game hitting streak. And one of his hits came against Alex Wood that brought home a run for the Mets. In fact, their pitching staff has been a good hitting crew. They've got 21 hits this year. This one, though, is popped up. Helmet stays on. And Freeman and Przinsky, and Freddie slides into the shin guards of Przinsky, who already has a tender ankle. And Colon pops out for the first out of the inning.
May have spiked him. That was a long way for Freddie to go. Got the inside of the shin guard and he got him on the ankle.
There's the first out. Here's Curtis Granderson. And he takes a strike. Ground ball foul. The 34-year-old native of Chicago. 3-time All-Star. 31 leadoff home runs. Up. And he's quickly behind. No balls, 2 strikes. He checked it. It's 1-2. Granderson came over from the Yankees and last year hit .227. He did hit 20 homers. He drove in 66. But he found the dimensions at Citi Field a lot tougher than those up in the Bronx. And Wood got him to swing and miss. Granderson's down on strikes for a second time. And that's 3 punch outs for Alex tonight.
Alex got good stuff tonight. Gave up the home run, but he's got a good changeup working. That was what Granderson swings over the top of there. Good changeup, good breaking ball. Fastball sitting around 89 to 90.
And a swing by Lagares. A foul tip, strike one. Alex was pitching well against the Pirates and Garrett Cole back in Atlanta until he ran into some trouble in the 5th inning.
Remember what set that all up, though?
Yeah. The hit by pitch to Freddie Freeman, the hit by pitch of Andrelton Simmons, and then with one out, Garrett Cole came up. And Alex, I think, tried to hit him with the first pitch. He missed with a slider.
Yeah, it wasn't close. But he wound up walking Cole, and it led to a 3-run inning.
He gave up a hit to Starling Marte on a 2-strike pitch that brought home 2 runs. And then after the inning ended, he was walking off the field and was gesturing location to umpire Mark Carlson, who threw him out of the game. As that ball is cut on and missed, it gets away from Przinsky, and AJ will fire it first in time. And you're right, Alex has excellent stuff. He's through 3, down a run, with the heart of the order coming up for the Braves in inning number 4.
Yeah.
Just slow, steady improvement. Hate the Yankees, then start to hate the Mets and turn from the dark side. As we look at our Georgia lottery, hitting the jackpot over the last 12 games, Atlanta's offense has been cooking.
And the runs per game is the most important part there. No matter what you're doing, average or on base wise, if you're not scoring, and the Braves are doing that. But unfortunately, they have not been able to put a good winning streak together and take advantage of this good hitting.
Yeah, 6-6 in that stretch, despite awesome offense. Let's see if Maben can get it started here in the 4th. Maben, Freeman, and Markakis, second time through against Bartolo Colon. He missed high, 1 ball, no strikes. To a man, the Padres were very impressed with the changes Cameron Maben has made and the work he's done at the plate. Not the same guy that they saw. Popped up, foul ground. Kadire says he's got it, and he does. Out number 1. Maybe tonight is 0 for 2. Here's Freddie Freeman.
I noticed right away, Freddie, I think, hit the first or second pitch, but I noticed that the Mets did not shift on Freddie. They're the first team, and I don't know how many, that haven't put on a big shift to the right side. And I have to believe that some of this has to do with Bartolo Colon. You got to ask your pitcher and tell him that's what you want to do. And if he doesn't want to pitch to the shift, then don't shift. He's got his way of doing it.
Well, isn't that where it really begins? You can put your defenders wherever you want, but if you can't put the ball where it has to be pitched, what good's your shift? And as you've said a couple of times already, command and control is never a problem for Bartolo Colon unless he wants it to be.
Right, and I just have to believe that all the other teams that do shift, this is as much a Bartolo Colon production as anything.
That pitch danced in for a strike. It's 1-2.
He's got that one working, as we saw to Jace Peterson.
That's upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. For whatever reason, so far this year, the Mets have had Freddie Freeman's number at the plate. He's now 3 for 24 against them. And there's a line drive to left. No shift, no problem. He hit it over everybody. And a 1-out single for Freeman, who loves hitting against the Mets. At least until 2015.
Target low and away, but the pitch was up and away, and that's a whole lot easier to serve to left field or the opposite field when the pitch is up.
And as the late great Bob Murphy, the Hall of Fame voice of the Mets, would say after that play, there goes the no-hitter. There's Markakis. Nick Fly to left his first time up. Hits are even at 1. The Mets hit left the ballpark. Wilmer Flores led off the second. A shot to left. And outside. Ball 1.
Change-up, a rare one. Nick had an odd homestand. I mean, he was 1 for 11 against the Pirates, and then went 6 for 13 against the Padres.
One ball, 1 strike, and that's up and away. Yeah, we have not seen streaks like that much from Nick Markakis. He's been, I think, the steadiest and most consistent hitter for Freddie Gonzalez this year.
I thought he was going to steal 162 bases, too. He was on pace to do that when he stole one opening night. But that's the only one he has so far.
2 balls and a strike. In the air toward left, and Mayberry will gather that in. There's the second out.
3 straight change-ups, and he throws that pitch less than any of his other repertoire. But if you Markakis 3 in a row,
that'll mess with a hitter's head.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if he does that again tonight to anybody.
Here's Uribe. He flied out to right. Seven outs in the air for Bartolo Colon. That is a great way to pitch in this park. It is a gigantic place. 408 feet to straightaway center where the Big Red Apple rises when the Mets hit a homer. 370 to the alleys, 358 to left, and they've moved the fences in and right center. That's where the Braves and Mets bullpens are. It's almost like a curved wall out there that's come in about 10-15 feet. 0-1 pitch. From that Gulf sign all the way around to the 370 mark. It's a lot closer than it used to be. Didn't get it. 2-1.
Just Just off the plate. Let's check in with PNC Bank. Fox Tracks just shaved the corner. Wrecker was trying to help him out. Didn't get the call from Lance Barksdale.
Slow roller toward Wilmer Flores. He'll charge. He will throw on the run, and he will get Juan Uribe. Nothing doing for the Braves in the fourth. They do get their first hit. The trail 1-0. Time to tell you about iconic R&B vocal group Boyz II Men. Those gentlemen will perform after the game on Saturday, June 20th for a free post-game concert that's presented by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. VIP field and backstage passes are still available. And make sure to get there early to see platinum-selling artist Young Jock perform in the Braves Fan Plaza before the game. Get your tickets today at braves.com/concerts.
Those guys have sold some records, haven't they?
They have. A lot of them. Braves concert series, always one of the most popular tickets. A good crowd for Charlie XCX at the ballpark the other day with the Padres in town. And June 20th, we'll see the Mets. In fact, we're going to see the Mets and Red Sox over the next 10 days. Those are the two clubs. Dyer drives one to Markakis and Wright, who hardly had to move. One pitch and one man out. Two more with the Mets Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Then we go to Boston for two, then come right back home and play the Red Sox. That two-game home-and-home series that really, I think, rankles a lot of guys that are on the traveling party. I don't think anybody's really a fan of a two-game series.
I don't understand the purpose of those.
Nor do I, but hey, anytime you get a chance to go to Fenway Park, whether it's 2 days or 3 or 4, I'm all in. I'll take that. Be there Monday night. And then Tuesday afternoon, a 4:05 start before we come home for the Red Sox and the Mets.
And a 4:10 first pitch here tomorrow.
Right. That'll be a good matchup. Shelby Miller and Jacob deGrom. We'll be on the air at 3:30 with Braves Live. There's Mr. deGrom. A little low for Wilmer Flores. In this ball game tonight, Alex Wood started with the best home run ratio in Major League Baseball. He allowed just 2 homers in his first 67 innings. And Flores takes a walk as Wood pitched him carefully, and this is why. He hit a home run to start the second inning for New York, and that's the only run of the game at this point.
Leading off the second, looked like a fastball. Inner third, and he's got a quick bat. Very quiet approach, but a quick bat.
John Mayberry bats for a second time. He walked in the second inning. That followed the home run. Mayberry started last year with the Phillies, hit .213 in 63 games. Had some wrist problems, then was traded to Toronto. And then the Mets signed him as a free agent. John can play all three outfield spots and first base. And Woods missed outside with 2 in a row to Mayberry. You looked at Mayberry's numbers in the Phillies organization. Put together some decent numbers. Double-digit homers totals for the Phillies in 2011, 12 and 13. Boy, a hitter with wrist problems, that's tough to overcome, isn't it?
It is, as we've seen from several guys. That's why they were so worried with the Padre organization about Will Myers' second stint on the disabled list because of his wrist.
Quick pep talk for Alex Wood, who was to first for us back on top of the bag.
If Flores runs, it'll be the first time all year. Wouldn't worry about him. Change.
It's been on spot since the opening bell tonight. 2 balls and a strike. Wood hasn't lost on the road. He hasn't beaten the Mets. Fly ball by Mayberry, hammered toward left. Gomes back. That one's going to go. Wood surrendered 2 homers all year. He surrendered 2 in his last 3 innings tonight. It's 3-0 Mets.
That was a towering shot. I think it was a changeup, and he was looking for it and was all over it. About 10 feet to the right of where the first one went out. The original configuration of this ballpark, neither one would have been homers.
So the Mets have 3 runs on 2 hits. They've hit 2 homers. Mayberry's hit his 3rd of the season. Now Wood faces Dilson Herrera. He flat out to right. And he's 0 for 1. And that's poked over 3rd and hit softly down the left field line. Gomes over quickly. Herrera on his way to 2nd. The throw is going to be late. He took an awkward turn around first base. Tom Goodwin is their first base coach. I'm not sure if he caught the first base bag on his way to a double.
Another changeup. This time not a bad pitch. He did have, looks like he rolled his ankle. It looked like he hit it.
As quickly as he could, and Herrera with a belly flop as the 3rd Mets hit. Here's Campbell. He lined out to left and is 0 for 1. Fly ball center. Maven retreats. He's going to have room. Herrera will tag. He's headed to 3rd, and there'll be no throw. 2 are out. Walker, the catcher.
The solo homer in the second inning leading off. Flores kind of ambushed him. That happens. And the fact that Mayberry might have been sitting on a changeup, okay, that can happen too, but it was the walk that preceded the homer that hurts.
Braves won't take a chance with Recker. They will pitch to Bartolo Colon after an intentional walk.
This was the spot in Atlanta in a close ball game where the Braves did the right thing, pitched around the 8-hole hitter, and then Colon, with the infield drawn in, dumped a single. I'm not even sure it got to the outfield grass.
Yeah, the Mets led 2-0. The Braves tied it 2-2. You're right, Colon in the fourth inning looped one just over second base, and that brought home Wilmer Flores to make it a 3-2 game. Here it is. He broke his bat, lost his helmet. Look at Wood.
Barely made the grass.
So here is Bartolo Colon. He popped out his first and only time up. Let's play it first. Earlier this year, you might recall, with new commissioner Rob Manfred taking over, he was asked about the state of the game, and one of the questions was DH. Will it come to the National League or not? He had one of the best lines ever. One as a National League fan, I hope it stays true. He was asked about the DH, and he said, look, if we had the DH in the National League, it would take away the immense enjoyment we've had watching Bartolo Colon hit. And there is some great truth to that. Strike one. But he said, hey, I'm going to get 4 hits this year. That was Bartolo's goal. He's got 4 already,
and he's got 3 RBIs. He has a sacrifice fly. I'm not sure but what that didn't come against Atlanta too.
That is the definition of an optimistic fan.
That is some wishful thinking.
One pitch. High drive, center field. Maben is going to get there, though. Look at the smile of Bartolo Colon. He hit it hard, but he is out number 3. A 2-run homer by Mayberry makes it a 3-run Met lead.
the Georgia Lottery, and 5-Hour Energy Shots. Have you tried great tasting 5-Hour Energy lately?
What do you think?
Good looking ribs.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that wasn't fair.
It wasn't.
That was not fair.
It's too easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Little transition there.
But nothing's easy for the Braves against Bartolo Colon. They have only one hit. And here we go to the 5th inning.
And he's got 3 runs in his pocket.
2 Mets homers. One by Wilmer Flores, one by John Mayberry. A.J. Brzezinski's the batter. He flied out to center and is lone at bat. That was in inning number 2. And quick strike. We'll keep an eye on all the other scores in the division. Washington's in Milwaukee tonight. That is a scoreless game so far at Miller Park. Marlins at home lead Colorado 1-0. Phillies and Pirates just getting started at PNC. Here it's the first place Mets 3, the Braves nothing. That's pulled through the right side for A.J. A good start for Atlanta. Leadoff single, the second Braves hit of the night. And let's see if Johnny Gomes can exact some revenge on Bartolo Colon.
Told you about A.J.'s success against Colon so far this year. And he hit the ball deep to center his first time up tonight. He is 4 for 8 against the right-hander so far on the year.
As we said at the time, the timing was suspicious for Johnny Gomes, who hit a home run against Colon back in Atlanta. Bartolo with excellent control hit Johnny Gomes, the first hit batter of the season. Won't know till after the game if Johnny felt that there was some ill will. But you know, he'd like to park one here and make it a 1-run game. It's Johnny's 25th start of the season for Atlanta. The Braves are 13-11 when he gets the opening bell assignment. And that's in for a strike. It's 0-2.
One of the reasons he's in there tonight.
There's a base hit to left, sharply hit on an 0-2 pitch. And Atlanta brings the tying run to the plate. A.J. stops at second. 2 on, nobody out.
Fastball that was supposed to start off the plate and come back. And it had the middle of the plate all the way. And Gomes did get a little bit of revenge there.
Andrelton a chance to do some damage. He's riding a 4-game hitting streak. And Colon missed 1. Ground ball right side, that's through for a hit. And Atlanta's got them loaded with 3 consecutive singles. So now it gets real interesting, because as we showed you, Bartolo Colon has an RBI hit against Alex Wood. Now the Braves pitcher has a chance to do something special.
And a good piece of hitting by Andrelton not to try to pull Got a pitch up and out over the plate and still hit it to right field and found the hole on the right side. The way the Braves do it. They put singles together.
Braves hitting .371 as a team with the bases loaded here. Peterson and Maben to follow. First trouble for Bartolo Colon tonight.
Remember, the Braves had that 14-hit game in Game 3 against the Padres, all singles. Yesterday they had 8 hits, and the only guy with an extra base hit was Freddie Freeman by my count. He had 2 doubles and a homer. Everything else outside of Freddie has been singles.
Away. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 25 of the last 26 hits for the Braves have been one-baggers, right?
No, he had 2 doubles and a homer. Freddie did yesterday.
That's right. And this high and away. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. So 22 of 26. Singles for Atlanta in the last 3 games. Wood ahead in the count. A.J. Gomes and Simmons from third to first on the bases.
Good idea. Just take one. Anything but a double play here. Double play would get you on the board, but looking for a big inning.
Now he's got to throw him a strike.
Yeah, and he can't be quite so fancy trying to do it with a backup fastball. He's got to have a lot of the plate. And Alex has got 3 RBIs himself on the year.
That's the first 3-ball count for Bartolo Colon tonight. Fought it off. Do it again. The 3-2 pitch is rolled foul.
That away, Alex. Make him work.
AJ with a single. Gomes with a single. Anderson Simmons with a single. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Bouncing ball towards short. Bobbled, and that's all the Mets get. Huge break. Should have been 2. It's only 1, and the Braves have scored, and they've got them at the corners with 1 out in the top of the order coming up.
One of the greatest frustrations for Terry Collins so far this season has really not been injuries, but the lack of defense from his middle infielders. And here's a case in point. Flores had a homer earlier. We talked about his throwing being a little erratic when we saw him earlier in the year. Well, that was a miscue. Won't go in the books as an error, but it certainly was costly.
Now the top of the order is up for Atlanta. Spot here where a fly ball could get you a second run. After double play been turned, a fly ball would end the inning.
But right back in the same spot. They are really, they saw Jace early. That's where that hole was in his swing, was in the inner part of the plate. And they're still going in there. And so far they've been successful.
Swing and a drive deep right field. Granderson on the run, won't get it. It's off the fence. 1 run scores. Wood on his way to third. He'll stop there. Ball gets away, but not far enough. And Jace Peterson smoked one off the chain link fence in right field. It's a 1-run game.
There's your extra base hit. One-run ball game, still only 1 out. Let's see where this pitch was. Yeah, that one was up. He was trying to do the same thing. Started in, run it back, and it was up, and Jace laced it. Almost hit it out.
So what an interesting inning for Bartolo Colon. The leadoff hit to A.J. Brzezinski. Gomes reached on a single with an 0-2 count. Simmons a base hit. Wood hits a ground ball that should have been a double play. It's not. And then Peterson hits one off the wall to make it a 1-run game.
And Drew Carey out to talk to Colon, try to settle him down. No, not really. It was Dan Worthen, their pitching coach.
Cameron Maybin.
Gotta like him in this spot, don't you?
You bet. One of 2 Braves in the top 5 in the National League with batting averages with runners in scoring position. He's 0 for 2 so far tonight. The hit gets you 2 runs. And foul away. Strike 1. Maybin second to Matt Carpenter now with a .465 average with Risp. Freddie Freeman is 5th at .408, and he's on deck. Right off his knuckles and out of play. Ouch. 0-2.
Pretty much his high end on a fastball at 89. And having to work up a lather this inning.
He's about to make his 22nd pitch. He's had a lot of high stress pitches to the last 3 Braves hitters. 0-2 count. Maybin serves one to right. That's headed for the seats.
This trip to the mound is one we've seen before with Maybin up there, where his new approach, where he's trying to inside out balls go the other way, has caused catchers to go out and say, hey, it's pretty obvious he's just trying to hit the ball to right field, and then they try to come in and sometimes down and in, and they pay for it.
With that in mind, look at where Kadyr's playing at first base. He's a good 20 feet off the first base line, trying to plug that hole that Maybin's filled so often. 0-2. And he is down on strikes. So Cameron strikes out.
A rare time for Cameron with the infield back, not able to put it in play and get that guy in. He's been great, and now they'll walk Freddie.
So let's pick your poison, Freeman or Markakis. This will be the interesting at bat with them loaded in 2 outs. As Joe mentioned, Bartolo Colon threw Markakis 3 straight changeups and got him to pop out. Let's see what he has up his sleeve in a crucial situation now. hit batter, and now an intentional walk as the bases loaded. The intentional walk came at third, but an intentional walk and a hit batsman for Cologne on his line score tonight. So here's your shot, Nick. See how he's done with the bases loaded for the Braves. He's 0 for 4.
You can get off that schneid right here.
You bet. Speed at second and third. Peterson represents the go-ahead run. Alex Wood could tie it at third base. And now Recker wants to talk it over.
He doesn't know what Bart wants. He was putting some signs down. He needed to know what Cologne wants rather than vice versa.
Way high.
This goes back to that conversation Andre Aldridge had with him before the game that we heard, where Nick was talking about putting the ball in play. You make contact and you got a chance to either get on base or in this case drive in a run. Strikeouts, you turn around and make a U-turn and go back to the dugout. That's not going to do a team any good at all.
1-0 count. Ball 2. Two runs on 4 hits in the Braves' 5th. And this is the 30th pitch. And it's back to the mound. Bartolo Colon surrenders 2 runs, and the Braves leave them loaded in the 5th inning. Top of the order coming up for the Mets. Jace Peterson with an RBI double, the highlight of the inning.
Georgia Power, and Toyota.
Braves have made a game of it. 3-2 is your score as we head to the home 5th. Braves fans, join us at Turner Field this Wednesday and Thursday as Freddie Freeman and the Braves take on Big Papi, David Ortiz, and the Boston Red Sox. Don't miss this great matchup. Tickets are going fast, so visit Braves.com/tickets and secure your seats now. The of a struggle for the Bo Sox so far in 2015. In fact, the Red Sox are in last place in the AL East, 27-34. They've lost their last 3 games. They've been awful on the road. They're 12-20 away from Fenway Park.
And David Ortiz, they're writing about how Big Papi may be done. He keeps saying, I'm not done. I got a lot left in the tank.
We're going to find out firsthand in a couple of days when we go to Boston.
Well, speaking of good records, home or road, these Mets are really good at home. They are 22-10 under Terry Collins.
So Alex Wood's got 2 runs back. He's down 3-2. Top of the order up for the Mets. You've known Terry Collins your entire professional baseball life.
Yeah.
I know your affinity for him as a friend. There's the 0-1 pitch. It's 0-2. I don't know that he's appreciated. I don't know him like you do. I don't know that he's appreciated as much as he should be with all that he has gone through with this Mets ball club here in New York the last couple of years.
And they're beginning to see the fruits of their labor, you know, putting this team together.
Fly ball, shallow center. Maben, as Simmons points the way, has it 1 out.
They're still a little short in a couple of positions. I remember 2 years ago in spring training, he said, we're trying to decide if, and that was when it was Duda or Ike Davis. They're trying to figure out, do we go with offense in the outfield or do we put guys who can't hit but can defend in the outfield? Those were the options they had. They were waiting on these good young pitchers to work their way up to the big leagues. They're beginning to break through now. So their team is coming together. It's maybe another year, but right now it's anybody's division in the National League East, and they're right there.
Tell me another team that could withstand the injuries that the Mets have had and be where they are.
I don't know. I don't know of one.
We're talking about guys like Bobby Parnell and Zach Wheeler, David Wright, and Daniel Murphy. These are key, huge players on this ball club, and like the Braves, they're plugging holes and mixing and matching and playing an entertaining brand of ball.
Yeah, they are. These fans here ought to really enjoy watching this team play. And remember Matt Harvey, you know, they just got him back because he missed a year that they thought he was going to be here pitching and making them that much better. DeGrom comes along and wins Rookie of the Year award. We'll see him tomorrow. So it's coming together.
We'll miss Syndergaard. Instead, we'll get Dylan G. And the kid that they're really excited about is their left-hander, Steven Matz.
Yeah, left-hander who's still in AAA.
Terry Collins was telling us before the game that Matt's ERA at Las Vegas is under 2 as a starting pitcher. 1-2 pitch. Back where it came from and into center field by Juan Lagares. It looked like he hit a wedge shot right back through the box. So he's aboard with 1 out.
Good pitch. Dirt high. Somehow got the barrel to it. They gave away Lagares t-shirts tonight. See a lot of fans wearing the blue shirt they gave away, and a big crowd here.
Here's Kadire. Michael 0 for 2 tonight. Hard to believe that last night was his first walk-off hit since he was a member of the Twins. The Elias Sports Bureau went back and counted the number of games he played between those walk-off hits. 1,140. Now, when he was a kid with the Twins, I'm sure he really enjoyed it. Now that he's, 37, 38 years old, all these young kids bopping him on top of the head probably didn't go over so well. One strike. And it is said of Michael Kadire that he has done for the Mets clubhouse what Johnny Gomes and A.J. Krasinski have done for the Braves.
I believe that. Always had a great reputation for that.
Ground ball toward third. Uribe's got it. Peterson to second for one, and to first to double play. And Jace Peterson made a nice move with the second base bag to shorten that throw from Uribe. Improved footwork turns into a double play. Defensive play at second base showed off some of that hard work.
This is his smoothest turn so far this year when he's come across the bag, because he was already on the bag, stepped down, made the turn, got out of the runner's way. Real pretty. That's the one he's been working on real hard with Terry Pendleton, Carlos Tosca, trying to get him. So it changes pattern so that runners don't know which way he's going to go every time.
That's the other fun thing about a young team. You see little things like that that add to the development of a major league player. And good turn by Jace turns the game to inning number 6. Uribe, Brzezinski, and Johnny Gomes are coming up. 3-2. Mets lead it behind Bartolo Colon and 2 New York homers. Atlanta got their runs 1 inning ago. Alex Wood, a fielder's choice. Jace Peterson, a double to right. That's upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. That's popped toward the crowd. And no play for Michael Kadire. Nice catch. And from Yonkers made the play.
He's got his Lagares t-shirt on.
If New York fans need baseball attire, this is the weekend. You got Lagares shirt night tonight, cap day on Sunday.
Is that right?
Yeah. Big crowd for that one. 2-2. Another chance, same area. Let's see if fans are good fielding group. Yeah! Kid made the catch. Nice.
He's got a Brave shirt on. That's why. Saved his sister and everything.
That is awesome. Good catch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A shot toward the gap in right center. Granderson's not going to get that. That's high off the fence. And Uribe glides into second with a double. He almost hit it out. Whew. Ball jumped off his bat.
It was something up and I think away from him. That's why he can level off on that fastball better than anybody. Man. And as you said, Chip, just missed getting over that blue sign, whatever that is. For the VYSK people, I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
A little pucker in that padding out there.
Here's AJ. Get Uribe to third. At the very least, Brzezinski has a hit and a run tonight. Popped up the first pitch. And Campbell makes the play.
Uribe threw a little scare on him too. He was trotting toward third base like he was just going to waltz over to third because nobody was there, and he gets a kick out of it because he caused some panic, but AJ unable to get him over.
Johnny Gomes becomes the key man in the inning. He was hit by a pitch in the third, singled on an 0-2 count, and scored on Jace Peterson's double. Strike one. Yanked foul behind Lowell Porter out of play. Gomes has another 0-2 pitch coming. Is trying to keep Uribe close at second. 0-2 count. And Recker a nice stop. Reds beat the Cubs at Wrigley today. 5-4 was the final. That was Johnny Cueto starting for Cincinnati. No restrictions apparently on Cueto. Reds say his elbow is fine. That is hugely important for Cincinnati.
He pitched a great game his first game back.
Reds have struggled on the road. They had dropped 10 of 11 away from the Great American Ballpark, but they won at Wrigley today. 5-4 the final. 1-2 pitch. And Johnny stays alive. Miami 2, Colorado nothing. That game's in the bottom of the 6th inning in Miami. Kyle Kendrick and Jose Urena are the pitchers. Giancarlo Stanton has hit 4 homers in his last 4 games. Kendrick 14-3 lifetime against the Marlins, entering play tonight. One ball, 2 strikes. Just missed the corner. Colon thought he had a 3rd strike. How close?
PNC Bank will tell us. Tried to back it up. He got a little help from Recker to make it look closer, but it was not on the plate. I don't think he wants to come in on Gomes, given Johnny's success against him, but he may go kind of go to that pitch, try to go to that pitch. He got Maben on down and in.
Oh, foul.
And Johnny still got around on it.
One thing you have to consider when you play the Mets, they have a very good, very deep bullpen. If you get chances to score in the middle innings with your pitcher lurking on the lineup card, you may have to take your shot a little earlier than you'd like. With that in mind, with Alex Wood's spot 2 batters away, Atlanta's bullpen is busy, as is that of the Mets. David Ardsma's up for the Braves, Alex Torres for New York. As Colon laboring over the last couple of innings. He is peppering the third base coaching box.
Well, Johnny has had such good success against him that he's probably of the mindset that you can't throw the ball by me. You may, use that fastball and bring it to the outside corner and make a great pitch to get me there, but you cannot throw the ball by me if it's on the plate. And he's proving that the last 2 or 3 swings.
Now the 2-2 pitch again. And he got him with something off speed. Slider maybe?
Yeah, it was. Breaking ball.
And Colon has a big strikeout. That's his 3rd of the game. Now Simmons is scheduled to hit.
And Colon and Rucker realized they couldn't throw the ball by him too.
So now they're going to walk Anderson Simmons and force Freddie Gonzalez to make a decision. It looks like Freddie's going to make it and go to his bullpen. Simmons will be intentionally walked, and that's Todd Cunningham on deck. So 2 walks for Bartolo Colon, and now Cunningham is called back, and Alex Wood goes out to the on deck circle. Ardsma and Eddie Perez will have a seat. It's a little gamesmanship there by Freddie Gonzalez.
And it's hard to play that gamesmanship, play that card, and fool another manager if that pinch hitter hasn't been announced. Because he doesn't have to do anything until he knows Todd Cunningham's in the game.
It's only a guess. We wouldn't know until the game ends. But if there's 1 out, the pitcher's up, pitcher spot is up, then you might have gone to Cunningham.
Well, maybe by sending Cunningham out there, they thought perhaps Colon would pitch to Simmons.
Right.
They weren't going to fall for that.
No. So Wood hits 2 on 2 out, 1-run game. And he tries to bunt. It's a beauty. It's going to roll foul at the last instant. Alex laid down a beauty, threw a surprise party, and very nearly had a bunt single.
Man, oh man, that was so good. I mean, great form too. Dropped his foot back, looked like he was going to stay on the grass, but as soon as it rolled off the lip of the grass, it picked up a little speed. Great idea, almost a great bunt.
So 1st and 2nd, strike 1, 2 outs for Alex Wood. Little tapper to the mound. Colon will throw to 1st in time. Atlanta got a leadoff double but could not tie the game. Home 6th coming up. 4, 5, and 6 for the Mets. It's a 1-run New York lead. About to lead things off for New York. And it's time for our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature.
And this was leading off the second inning. Nice easy swing and a launch into the party seats out there in left field. His 10th of the year, and that takes the team lead.
So Alex Wood, a little extra time. He was the final out of the Braves' 6th inning. And he's got the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for the Mets. Other scores: Milwaukee 2-1 over Washington. Well, what's happened to the Nationals? They've lost 10 of their last 13 games.
Bryce Harper's hit a home run tonight, but they still trail.
That's Jordan Zimmerman and Mike Fiers at Miller Park. Milwaukee beat them 6-5 yesterday. So there's ground to be gained tonight, perhaps, for Atlanta. Certainly against the Mets, if the Braves can come back down a run. It's a little low, ball 1. Fly foul, right side. It's an even count. A lot of talk this offseason about the Mets trying to get Troy Tulowitzki of the Colorado Rockies. That obviously hasn't happened. Sandy Alderson, the Mets general manager, said in the papers here the other day that the Mets would be able to add a higher salary player if that player had on-field value. They're not going to just acquire a bat for the sake of doing so, or a shortstop, or a second baseman. Money's not the object. The value for the dollar is for the Mets. One ball, 2 strikes. That's low, 2-2.
They probably, like any other team, would be interested in Troy Tulowitzki if there was some kind of guarantee he was going to stay on the field.
That's a big problem for Troy. Back to the mound. Woods got it. He'll retire Flores easily. 1 man down. Well, as I said earlier, the one commodity that the Mets have in plenty is pitching, starting pitching. You've got Harvey, you've got Syndergaard, you've got DeGrom, you've got Neese, you've got Dylan G, and you've got Bartolo Colon. Obviously, that's too many guys for too few spots. The Mets tinkered one time through the rotation with a 6-man starting rotation because they want to limit the innings for their young starters. They want to limit the innings for Matt Harvey as he comes back from Tommy John surgery. The Mets feel that they'll be able to do that by limiting their innings in the middle of the season and turn them loose in September if they're fortunate enough to be playing meaningful games then. They also have, as we said, Steven Matz, who come up and gobble up a lot of innings for them too in rotation.
Well, the change in pitchers for Sunday is curious. I mean, we'd had Syndergaard on our chart, you know, for 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden we get to Park today and it's Dylan G. That's a little curious too.
Very a bouncer. Uribe gives ground. Handcuffed him. Long throw. Freeman can't scoop it. No backup at first, but no advance. And Mayberry's aboard with an infield hit. He's 2 for 2 with a walk.
If they gave him a hit, then that's a generous hit. I think I would have scored this in error. He gave ground, had nothing on the throw from that plant. Freddie's pretty good at picking that up on most occasions, but not this time.
Is a hit.
Wow.
Here's Herrera. A 4th inning double means Dilson's reached base in a game 8 consecutive times out. And he looks at a strike. As I told you, Herrera very young. Flores, their Shortstop tonight's 23. Dilson Herrera is 21. To your point about the organizational depth and how their farm system's being a lot more productive, it's not just in the pitching department. Two pitch. He's low. Mentioned Herrera was a Pirate. He came over in August of 2013 for John Buck, Marlon Byrd, and Cash.
Deadline deal, I would guess.
August 27, a little after.
Oh,
but before the playoffs,
right?
Those waiver deals.
Before you had to have your roster in place.
1-2 count. He's outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The one thing that the Mets, I mean, as injury plagued as they have been, and you've outlined all of them, is David Wright. I mean, they weren't counting on that. They were hoping he'd give them a full season, and even if he had a pulled hamstring or whatever might have put him on the DL at the beginning, for it to turn into a back injury, boy oh boy, is that disheartening.
2-2 pitch is low, and to your point, with a fractured wrist, with a pulled hamstring, with a quad, with an oblique, there's a timetable for return.
Yes.
The most frustrating and scary thing for the Mets is there is no timetable, to our understanding, for David Wright to come back. None. He could wake up tomorrow and feel great, or it could last the rest of the summer. Downstairs, Wood walked Herrera. 2 are on, and 1 is out. Archman's back up and throwing in the bullpen. Alex has walked 4 men. One of those walks was intentional. Here's Campbell, who is flat out twice. That'll bring Roger McDowell to the mound for a quick reset. The other thing about David Wright, his absence, I really like watching the guy play.
Oh, sure.
It's terrible for the game that he can't go.
Alex got a little away from his aggressive nature there. I thought he was real picky on those pitches, trying so hard to get a ground ball that he was out of the zone, that he wound up walking Herrera. So go back to making those good pitches. He's got 3 good pitches tonight. Get ahead in the count. Maybe then you can get Campbell to go after a bad one. He did.
Right.
Quinn Walcott, what to call it first.
Barry Campbell signed as a pro in 2008. Got to the big leagues for the first time last year. 27 years old, out of Norwich, Connecticut. Where he lives in the offseason. Outside, he will count. He played college ball at Boston College. Big pitch here. Pickoff throw. It's into center field. Boy, the Braves have been plagued by that. Maben's going to throw towards second, and everybody's safe. throwing error puts Mayberry at third and Herrera at second.
As outstanding as the Braves were early in the year, especially this combination, Alex Wood and either the second baseman or shortstop, not even close.
Jason Grilli threw one into the outfield back in Atlanta. Now Wood with a throwing error. And the Mets have two in scoring position for Eric Campbell. Now back 2-2.
Got a base open, but you've got the bottom of the order. Campbell's hitting 189. Rutgers hitting 149. Even if you put one on and got the other guy, it's likely Terry Collins is going to go to his bench. So go after these guys hitting under 200.
These pitchers have committed 10 errors this year, tied for the most in the big leagues. Hope it doesn't cost Alex. 2-2 pitch. He's in the seats. Straight back. I mentioned Eric Campbell played college ball at Boston College. His teammate was Pete Frates. If that name rings a bell, it's because Pete Frates was the young man who came down with Lou Gehrig's disease and was the inspiration behind last year's Ice Bucket Challenge all around the nation. Two balls, two strikes. Go. Not that time. Full count. Campbell with an excellent at bat.
Okay, so now you don't have to throw him a strike because of the base that's open. If you feel like you've been making good pitches with that back foot slider, this would be a good time for it. He had a good swing at a backdoor slider a minute ago. One that I would try there.
Full count pitch. Play. The Mets, as of now, are carrying 3 catchers. I mentioned the offensive struggles of Anthony Recker. You would think the Mets would pinch hit for him. They've got Duda, Darno, Plawecki, and Danny Munoz in reserve. It looks like Darno is itching to swing the bat.
Couple of series of signs here with the runners at second between AJ and Alex, tapping equipment and then going to number signs. One might set up the other.
Ground ball deep short. Simmons has it. Long throw to first in time, but a run is in. Excellent at bat by Eric Campbell. Fought off a couple of nasty pitches, fouled them away. Worked to full count, put it in play, and he brings home Mayberry with the 4th Mets run. And the throwing error, critical there. That might have been a double play ball otherwise.
Exactly right. The thing I don't understand about those, I don't get about those pickoff throws, is it's not that they're thrown in the dirt and short hop the guys or even over the top of somebody's heads. They're not even close to the base anywhere.
Now with a 2-run lead, the Mets can keep Recker in the game. And Alex ahead of him with a strike. Braves will have the top of their order coming up. I believe Bartolo Colon has thrown a season high in pitches already tonight. He's right at 100. And so if Recker reaches, it will be d'Arnaud coming on to hit. That's foul at first, and Recker behind 1-2. Mets have 4 runs on only 5 hits. 2 of their runs came on home runs. Flores a solo shot in the second. Mayberry a 2-run shot after a 1-out walk to Flores. And a ground out here in the 6th has made it a 4-2 game. And a swing and a miss is going to end the inning. A throwing error on a pickoff play has loomed large in a close game in New York. Mets added their lead. It's 4-2 going to the 7th.
Game 4-2, still needing to make up a few runs over these last 3 frames. All kinds of confidence coming from this dugout. And offensively, you know the reasons why. We pointed that out heading into the contest as far as raising the batting average over 50 points from May to June. Talking to Freddie Freeman before the game, though, he said the second guy to bat in this upcoming inning, Cameron Maybin, he says we have 29 wins on this season because of Cameron Maybin, and the difference he has been unbelievable, but it's because of opportunity and help. He said that he wasn't healthy as a Padre towards his latter stages there, and also that Cameron knows he's coming to the ballpark and he's going to be in center field each and every day, and everybody kind of feeds off his energy offensively and out there on the field, guys.
That's a good point, Andre. And on this Braves lineup card, he's hitting in a great spot. He's batting behind Jace Peterson, who's done an excellent job leading off. He's hitting in front of Freddie Freeman. So you figure Maybin's going to see a lot of fastballs, and for the most part, he's hit him hard someplace.
Well, he's staying with his program he and Seitzer have laid out. Siciliani's gone into left field. He'll bat ninth, and the new pitcher, Alex Torres, the left-hander.
Torres, as you know, the relief pitcher that wears that halo protective device on his Mets wool cap. He's part of a very good Mets bullpen that has the 3rd best ERA in the National League, collectively a .267 relief earned run average.
Yeah, and only one blown save at the end for Familia. Throws hard. He's got low 90s stuff, fastball wise, and slider and a changeup.
One ball, two strikes for Jace Peterson. There's an RBI double in the game. Did he go? No, he did not. Jace has more than held his own against left-handed pitching this year. He came in at 267 for the year.
To see him smoke one right back at Torres through the middle. He gets another breaking ball, especially.
He lined one over second instead. So Peterson keeps up his good work against lefties, and he represents the third run for Atlanta. Tying run, Cameron Maybin, is coming up.
Well, let's hope the Braves can execute a little ABC baseball better than they did last inning when they got the leadoff double and couldn't move Uribe along. You could see their record wanted that breaking ball down. He was patting the dirt. He left it up and gave Jace a chance to go out and get it. Well done.
Another two-hit game for Jace Peterson tonight. Now Maybin is the batter. 16 multi-hit games for the Braves second baseman. It was grounded out, popped out, and struck out. And Torres missed wild up and away. One ball, no strikes. No.
Take a chance here and think of him as pitching backwards. He's got good off-speed stuff. He's got the slider and the changeup. You can afford to look something other than fastball here if you want.
Torres is a lot like James Russell was as a Brave. A statistical oddity this year. Left-hander hitters are batting .250 against him. Righties are hitting .140 against him. So it's borne out by Peterson's hit. Now it's a 3-0 count. And over. Cameron taking all the way.
He can throw the changeup to the right-handers and probably not so much to the lefties. There are the splits. He threw him a 2-0 fastball, but it was down. So if he stays with a fastball behind in the count here. Last thing he wants to do is come in after having already given up a hit and walk a guy. So maybe Maybin will get the fastball.
I would think this would be a comfortable at bat for Cameron. Torres was his teammate with the Padres a couple of years ago. Oh, it's a 3-1 count. And he walked him. Two are on with nobody out. This is exactly what the Braves wanted. Freddie Freeman's coming up, and he's our T-Mobile game changer. The Mets have had his number this year. That has to terrify Terry Collins because you know at some point the numbers will revert back to these.
Yeah, we've made some comparisons. We've had some other split screens about Freddie's career at this point compared to Chipper's and what he did to the Mets, and they're not altogether different through 79 games.
So Dan Wortham has the entire Met infield save Michael Kadire on the mound. And Torres in a big mess with a single and a walk to start the seventh.
He worked 2 days ago. Torres did against the Giants and worked a full inning, gave up a hit and a walk that day, but got out of it by getting 2 strikeouts.
Up and in to Freddie Freeman. 1 ball, no strikes. Freddie has singled and walked. He's also bounced out. The Met bullpen has gotten busy quickly.
Freddie's doing a great job of staying back now. He is seeing the ball well. He's not jumping out there. He's not letting his upper body slide out. Really staying back beautifully. It's paying off for him too.
Missed inside. Torres thought that was good enough, but he's been so wild he's not getting the benefit of the call. 3-0.
Close. Not close enough. See if Freddie gets a green light here.
Big gap in right center for him if he can pull one. And it's ball 4. A single and 2 walks, and now another lefty's coming up. It's Nick Markakis.
That unearned run last inning, a big one for the Mets right now.
Another opportunity for the Braves with the bases loaded.
Markakis has never faced him.
Peterson, Maben, and Freeman from third to first.
Be careful on the first pitch.
It missed.
I can understand him wanting to crowd the left-handers to make the breaking ball effective, but he hadn't been able to throw it over either. The only one he actually had close to the plate, Peterson hit it to right.
That's a Queen's cheer.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah. North of here.
Okay, the palms.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
What have you got against Elizabeth?
1 ball, 1 strike. Missed badly inside. It's 2-1. If they lose Markakis, Uribe will not face Torres.
That's 14 walks for him now in 21 2/3 innings. He's averaging better than a strikeout per inning pitch, but this is not unusual.
Broken bat roller to second. There's 1. There's 2. A run is in to make it 4-3. But Markakis was hoping for so much more. He got jammed. He rolls out. And Alex Torres will be relieved. And Carlos Torres is going to come on to face Uribe. From one Torres to another. And Atlanta's down a run. Alex did not have a good night, but he got a big double play ball. 1-run game, 4-3. Mets still lead it. We're deeper into the New York pen.
every day.
Fans, spend the 4th of July weekend with us at Turner Field. Get your tickets today as the Braves battle the Phillies Friday, July 3rd through Sunday the 5th. What better way to celebrate Independence Day than by experiencing America's pastime and the best fireworks show in the Southeast. Go to Braves.com/tickets and plan your 4th of July trip to the ballpark tonight.
This is Carlos Torres, low 90s. It's pretty much heater, cutter, change.
If memory serves, this is a guy that's always pitched well against the Braves. Juan Uribe, the batter, he has doubled in 3 trips tonight. Tying run is 90 feet away in the form of Cameron Maybin.
Only 5 walks for Carlos Torres in his work so far this year in 24 innings.
He's throwing hard too. 2 balls and a strike. Ooh, good breaking ball. Uribe wasn't looking for that.
Yeah, he caused him to flinch a little bit through that breaking ball right at him. There are the numbers you talked about, Chip. Outstanding.
Big crowd wants to see the inning end here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a fly ball to the right. Into the stands. And Uribe will do it again. Back to the mound, and Torres and the Mets are out of it. Atlanta loaded the bases with nobody out. A double play and a comebacker means only 1 run scores, and it's a 4-3 Mets game now at the stretch. In New York, Bartolo Colon started for the Mets. He threw 100 pitches over his 6 innings. He allowed 2 runs, and he is in line for his 9th victory of the year. Our AT&T Uverse trivia question centered on the buxom Mets right-hander. And over the last 5 years, Bartolo Colon has a 4.3 strikeout to walk ratio. That's 3rd most among active right-handed pitchers. Who has the first and highest strikeout to walk ratio in that stretch?
Well, I got my slide rule out.
Yeah.
And my protractor, and I came up with Doug Fister.
Doug Fister's an excellent call. I'm going to say Adam Wainwright, the Cardinals. He's hurt, and it's another old reliable. Dan Herron.
I'm just going to keep saying Dan Fister. You'd be wrong on both counts. Yeah. Doug Fister.
Do you get half credit if you?
I don't know. Yeah, have one name right.
Here's Daryl Siciliani. We've never seen this kid before. And that's low from Alex Wood. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Out of Lake Charles, Louisiana.
All right. And he's got a base hit the other way. All right, he filed that away. And hit lefties, it looks like.
7 for 29 since he got called up.
He had 289 at Binghamton last year. So he's aboard to start the Mets' 7th inning. And back to the top, Curtis Granderson. His pen begins to work. New York 4 runs, 6 hits. The Braves 3 runs on 7 hits. Alex has made some of his best pitches of the night to the Mets leadoff man. Anderson has struck out twice. Big story in Houston tonight. The Astros 9, Seattle nothing. That game's in the 4th inning. Felix Hernandez went 1/3 of an inning and gave up 8 runs.
Mercy.
Nothing has gone right for the Mariners this year.
Everything's gone right for Houston.
Fouled away by Granderson, trying to stop his swing. 2-1 Miami over the Rockies, top of the 8th. Milwaukee's extended their lead over Washington, 5-2 in the home 4th. Cardinals 2, Kansas City nothing in St. Louis. That game's in inning number 5. It's a big matchup in the Show Me State series. Swing and a miss. Granderson struck out for a 3rd time. And here's Lagares. He's 1 for 3, and that'll be the final pitch of the night, thrown by Alex Wood.
Well, it was a good one. Slow breaking ball, 6th strikeout.
It went 6 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned to this point. The man at first belongs to Alex. That is in the bullpen with 1 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Of inning number 7, game 1 of this 3-game series between the Braves and the first place Mets. This is David Aardsma, and he will face Juan Lagares.
2 games against San Diego, 1/3 of an inning in his first outing. That was fairly simple, and then against the Padres yesterday. He was victimized by the pass ball and the catcher's interference. He was charged with a blown save, which was kind of ridiculous. Well, 2/3 of an inning, one of those outs, a strikeout.
Right-handed bats greet him here in the 7th. Runner at first, and Lagares is in the batter's box. It's a recurring theme. It's a tired theme. But the Braves bullpen has not pitched well. Highest ERA in baseball. As a group, runner goes, good jump. Brzezinski's throw to second has no chance. Siciliani got an excellent lead from first. And he slides in with a stolen base and then erases the double play chance.
Good crossover step by the former first rounder. He's already got 3 stolen bases now.
So Lagares a chance to make it a 2-run game or better. He's 1 for 3 and has struck out twice as well. Fly ball toward right, pretty well hit. Markakis on the run. He's still going. He's there. He's got it. And he makes the grab. Siciliani late tag, and he's going to make it to third base. He was late getting back to second, but saw how deep Markakis was and made his way to third with 2 out.
Yeah, that was getting scary because I was watching Nick check to see where he was relative to the fence, and he knew he was running out of room. Nice over-the-shoulder catch. But no reason to make that relay throw. Wisely, Jace held on to it.
So Michael Kadire bats. He hit to a double play in the New York 5th. Anything in the dirt, Brzezinski's got to sacrifice the body and keep it close with a fast man at third base. And outside, 1-0. Braves have already used 40 different players on their major league roster this year. With Dana Eveland's appearance yesterday, he became the 22nd pitcher. And a line drive to left brings home a run. So Kadire glides into second. That's an RBI double. His 27th run batted in. Charge that run to Alex Wood. And you can close the book on Alex.
Fastball running in on him, and he turned on it. Took that front foot down quickly. He got the barrel out there. 27 RBIs for Kadire. Stolen base, a big part of that.
Nice round number in the 2-base hit category for Michael. That's number 325 for his career. So it's a 5-3 game. Here's Flores. He's homered, walked, and scored twice.
Both of the new pitchers for the Braves in the bullpen, Art Smith and Dana Eveland, both pitched for the Mets at different times. Eveland last year.
Check swing, and that's into the seats. It's no balls, 2 strikes. This might be a very big night for the Mets. We'll try to gain ground in the division. Washington's now trailing 7-2, and they're beating the Braves 5-3. One and two. How he got out of the way of that pitch, I don't know.
I don't know either, but he had to do something to get him off the plate.
popped him up. And at shortstop, Andrelton Simmons is there, and he's got it. Siciliani singled, stole second, and came home on a Michael Kadire double. And the Braves trail by 2 late. Presented by Toyota continues with Matt Crafton, born to race, chronicling the humble upbringing of NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver Matt Crafton and what drove him to success. Driven, Matt Crafton, Born to Race, premieres tonight at 11 on Fox Sports South and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Our Toyota tweet of the week: what has been the biggest reason for the Braves' success at the plate? Tweet us at Fox Sports South using hashtag BravesBats, and your tweet could be read during Braves Live after our game. Need some Braves success in the plate in the last 2 innings. They're down the last 6 outs and they're trailing by 2 runs.
Well, and again, they get within 1, and every time they do, the Mets add on. So it's a 2-run deficit again.
Braves have had a chance for a couple of big innings tonight. This one is lobbed over third, and A.J. Przinsky goes the other way with a leadoff hit, and the tying run will come up.
That was funny. I mean, he got like jammed badly, and Eric Campbell at third base was just trying to throw his arm in the way. He couldn't get his glove over to that side, but he was trying to do anything just to knock it down. Hit me somewhere. Just hit my hand, something.
Kelly Johnson will pinch hit for Johnny Gomes. Kelly came off the disabled list and had a 3-hit game the other day. This has been another very, very enjoyable part of Braves' success so far this year, and that is the work by their pinch hit core. Braves pinch hitters have 23 pinch hits, including 4 homers.
I know he's coming off the bench cold, but I like this matchup. He throws hard. Kelly's got a good fastball bat.
Call the strike. It's an even count. Johnson had 3 hits and 8 at bats in his first 4 games against New York this year. In lifetime, he's hit 6 home runs in 69 games against the Mets. Good cut, fouled back though. 2 balls, 2 strikes. difference between the Braves and Mets is the work in relief. Comparing Atlanta's relief corps to the Mets, a 2-run difference in earned runs. Half as many home runs allowed by the Mets relievers. That's what makes them so tough, even with a guy that can hit a fastball. They play in a big ballpark, and their staff doesn't give up many long balls. Put together big innings, maybe without the benefit of the Grand Tour. Full count. Simmons on deck, and the pitcher spot. Somehow he got a piece of that pitch.
Still alive. That was a cutter, and he left it upstairs.
Dribbler out towards second. Flip to Flores. Peg to first. Double play. Atlanta's hit into a double play twice in as many innings. That hurts. And now Hamilton Simmons with the bases empty and 2 out. Double-barreled action in the Mets bullpen. Sean Gilmartin and Bobby Parnell are up. So Simmons can keep the inning alive. With Tom Cunningham in the on-deck circle.
That cutter has really served Torres well the last 2 innings. He got one in on Uribe for the comebacker in the 7th, and now the double play here in the 8th.
Crowd tonight 32,554. Big gathering in New York. That's trying for their 33rd win. Braves trying to crack the 30-win mark. Down 2 runs. They've got 4 outs left. Third deck foul. 1 and 2.
This ballpark seats between 41, almost 42,000 people. Is that right, fellas? And it looks like it seats so many more. It looks like a 50,000 seat stadium. It's so massive. But like Shea Stadium, it's built ground up. There's nothing dug into the ground. Everything is ground level from the street.
Campbell cuts in front, makes a beautiful play to rob Hamilton Simmons. A promising start to the 8th ends in disappointment as Campbell snuffs it out and sends us to the home half of the inning. Our Toyota key of the game, and another pitcher.
Yeah, it's almost like Alex didn't get completely turned. Got his foot when he jumped to turn to second base. He didn't get turned all the way. His shoulders were lined up right at the bag and threw it away. And the subsequent base hit cost him a run. Big turning point in this ball game.
So Kelly Johnson stays in the game to play left. New pitcher on the mound for the Braves is right-hander Nick Massett, and he will face Danny Muno. There's a non-roster invite to spring training at Port St. Lucie for the Mets. Muno hit .259 at AAA last year and cracked 14 home runs.
Neuenhuis no longer with the Mets. He was sent out, DFA'd, and the Angels picked him up. He's with the Anaheim Angels now.
That was a pretty pitch. Muno hitting 100 with the Mets. Out of Long Beach, California, lives in El Segundo. And he is down on strikes. Here's Herrera. He's walked, doubled, and has been stranded twice. Juris Familia is the Mets closer. He is loosening in the Mets bullpen. And out of play, foul. Well, Familia has been a great story for the Mets. Henry Mejia being suspended. Familia has been brilliant as the Mets closer. He saved 17 games. There he is. And Herrera hit with a breaking ball. He'll make his way to first with one man out. Relief pitchers are not making it easy on themselves. And Eric Campbell is up for a fourth time. He's 0 for 3, but does have a run batted in, his 12th. Fouled away, strike one.
He's not given up a run to the Braves in 3 outings so far this year.
Ground ball to second, might be 2. There's 1, and there is 2. Nick Massett hits a batter, but induces an inning-ending double play, and we go to the ninth. Braves need 2 to tie and 3 to take a lead in New York. Good one. 5-3 New York. Braves need 2 to tie against a tough hombre. That's Juris Familia. These two guys probably college students. And starting next Thursday, June 18th, every Thursday, home games, college night in Atlanta. Tickets are $20 with $10 of added value included. And you get to sit in the new college section. Don't forget, students also get to run the bases after the game. Don't miss out on these special nights at Turner Field. Space is limited. Visit Braves.com/college now.
That'll be a fun event. I'll enjoy watching those college students run the bases.
Or at least try to.
Yes. Tell you what, this guy's good. 1.26 ERA, second in the National League in WHIP, which is average walks and hits per inning pitch. It's sub 1, 0.80. Throws hard. Don't they all? 95-97 with a slider.
Will be greeted by Todd Cunningham, who pinch hits to start the ninth. Remember, the Mets lost Henry Mejia to suspension for PEDs. The Mets were without Bobby Parnell, who's come back now from Tommy John surgery. Parnell's another guy that before the surgery could throw the ball 95 to 100 miles an hour. The way this guy's pitching, he's not going to let go of the closer job anytime soon, I wouldn't think.
Not to either one of the aforementioned gentlemen. 17 out of 18.
That was nasty. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I've heard you say many times that the key to a closer is a guy who can come in and throw strikes. And he has walked only 7 in his 28 innings, which is not a huge number.
Just 25, won't be 26 till this October. 76 games last year for the Mets with 5 saves.
Yeah, pretty much the setup guy last year, and started that way this year.
One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on or out in the Braves ninth. Now 2-2. Marlins beat the Rockies 5-1. Phillies Pirates scoreless in the 5th. Milwaukee 7-2 over Washington, 6th inning in Milwaukee. It's 5-3 New York. Cunningham with a shot toward left, and a nice running catch is out number 1. Siciliani does a nice job. Got a good jump, and he took away a hit from Tom Cunningham.
Siciliani's certainly made his presence known here tonight, coming in late. But the Braves against the Mets, not so good. In the last 12 games dating back to last year, just 4-8. And an ERA, pretty much the difference with a fine ERA for the New York pitchers.
Braves haven't won a game in New York this year. They're in danger of falling to 0-4 as Jace Peterson hits. And a slash and a foul. Strike 1. Even when the Mets weren't in first place the last couple of years, this was a tough team for the Braves to beat. For whatever reason, they match up very well with Atlanta. One ball, 1 strike. Was taken low. Last year, Braves and Mets played 19 games. New York won 10 of them.
.98 on that last fastball. Braves have only fanned 3 times tonight. Those were all against Bartolo Colon. Again, they put the ball in play, but they haven't gotten that key hit when they needed it. They left the bases loaded in the 5th, had them loaded in the 7th as well.
And a leadoff double in the 6th too that they couldn't cash in, but a walk brings the potential tying run to the plate. Good at bat by Jace Peterson, who reaches base for a 3rd time tonight.
First walk for Familia in his last 3 outings, and only his 2nd in his last 5. So we know what walks can do late. See if the Braves can capitalize.
Let's hope Familia gets a good look not only at Cameron Maybin, but the man that's standing in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, I really want to get Freddie up there.
Good cut, fouled at the plate. Strike 1. History between Familia and Maybin. No balls at a strike. .99 miles an hour and sinking. 0-2.
And as you said, just 25. Bright future.
Printed on Julio Teheran's glove would apply to fans of the man on the mound for the Mets. Te amo mi familia. I love my family. A lot to like about the hard-throwing Mets closer. 0-2 your count. Line drive left field, a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. He just reached out and stroked that ball to left.
He threw in back-to-back sliders. Now they were hard. They were both 90 miles an hour. But the second one was hittable. Oh yeah, hanger. Just a spinner. So way to go, Cameron.
And the Braves got what they want. 2 on for Freeman, who with one swing could turn the game around. Freeman against Familia gives you a lot of hope. He's 4 for 7 with a double and a homer against the Mets reliever. The pitch. And he had a good cut. Strike 1. No, the Braves don't quit. Can they finish in the 9th tonight?
He has given up a couple of homers this year. Two good swings. One that was in on him a little bit. That one, for fear of going in there again, was out over the plate some, and he was a little late on it.
No balls, 2 strikes. You want power versus power, you're getting it. That pitch at 100 miles an hour, and Freddie had it covered. Day game tomorrow. 2-game swing. Rests in the outcome of this one. 0-2. Nearly hit him inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's the slider that may have been hit, and he was just trying to make sure that he didn't make a mistake with it to Freddie. Buried it inside for fear of hanging another one. We've seen Freddie hit some long balls here, including one out by the apple that I remember, I believe, last season.
Now Recker wants to make sure with Freddie Freeman in the batter's box. Cunningham flied out to left. Big play by Siciliani, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Peterson walked. Maben singled. Now they're 2 on with 1 out. 1-2 count. Straightened him up with a fastball that missed. It's 2-2.
That may have been the plan, to set something up down. Up and in, down and away. We'll see.
Campbell's well off the line at third. We've seen Freddie serve a ball that way a time or two lately. The pitch. Missed inside. Full count.
Curtis Granderson's almost in the Mets bullpen. He's so deep. You never expect Lagares to play deep because he has utter confidence in his ability to go back. Big pitch here.
Three and 2 for Freddie. And out of play again. This is a big league at bat in the 9th inning of a tight game.
Because the guy throwing 99, 90, 100 miles an hour every pitch, he bet it is. And with every one of those, you feel like Freddie gets a little better at it.
As hard as this man throws, I'm shocked Campbell's not guarding the line a little bit more closely, because a late swing could turn into an extra base hit.
It would, but it almost tells you that they're not pitching him away. They don't want to pitch him away for fear of getting his arms extended. Now they are going away.
3-2 count. And Freeman walks. Bases are loaded for Atlanta.
Again.
They had him loaded in the 5th inning. Scored twice. Had him loaded in the 7th. Scored once. They've got him loaded in the 9th. And Dan Warthen makes his way to the mound. As Nick Markakis is up. Nick is stranded. A whole lot of men tonight.
Yeah, he hit the comebacker to end the 5th inning after the Braves had played it 2. He did that with the bases loaded. And then he hit into a double play with them loaded in the 7th. But that did score a run.
So you got the lefty versus the righty in Nick Markakis. If he can keep the game alive, you've got Uribe waiting next. And it is Jim Johnson who's getting ready for a potential bottom of the 9th.
Unless Nick really wants to ambush one and get out there early, I don't look for him to try and pull this guy. Don't look for him to pull this guy. Room on the left side if he goes the other way.
Pitch number 24 of the inning to Nick Markakis. He missed.
He's a little bit like Alex Torres. Alex Torres kept missing in to the left-handed hitters.
24 pitches for Familia, just 13 strikes. 2 walks and a hit. He's behind Markakis. 1 ball, no strikes. Bouncing ball towards second. There's 1. There is 2. The Braves loaded the bases 3 times over the final 3 innings and could score only 1 run. Amazing.
Familia survives the 9th inning. He induces a game-ending double play, and the Braves have their hearts broken in the 9th inning by the Mets, who win Game 1 by a final of 5-3.